What's happening, fam? Jared Weiss back here with my good friend RJ, aka the Nunnik. We are the Rabbit Hole Roundup, and for today's video, we're going to be talking about
E.T. Phones Mexico, Rabbit Hole Roundup, Episode 4.
episode 4. Let's get this thing rolling. So, for today's episode, we're going to be starting off by talking about this idea that, like, supposedly Mexico supposedly uncovered this fossilized ET. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't believe in aliens that are three-dimensional. I only believe in multi-dimensional,
Interdimensional
trans-dimensional
beings.
aliens. I do not believe in three-dimensional aliens.
Or what about this idea, like, of aliens that actually come from the outer lands as opposed to the
Perhaps.
space?
Or I also believe they might come from underwater, but yeah.
Right, yeah,
I don't know. So maybe,
Interesting.
I think it's kind of, you know what? I think it's dope, though, that a government, like, came out with some bodies and we're like, hey,
Yeah,
these are...
like having said, like,
Yeah.
something tells me that, like, this whole thing is complete nonsense.
Should I say it's both dope and dopey?
Yeah. For sure. But, like, one of my questions is like obviously both of us, like, as well as like many people, like, who are in the truther communities, like, as like we all know, like, the government, like I said, acts like to this hologram technology, like, like the whole
Yeah.
the whole Project Bluebeam and all that stuff. And so like my question to you is, why the hell, like, would the government, like, come through with, like, this clay ET body and like try to, like, convince people, like, like this thing is real as opposed to using any of this hologram technology?
Did you see the video going around on social media that
The
it was like a
cake?
cake?
Yeah,
the cake
I saw
video.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, honestly, it did look like
it
a
honestly
cake.
could be.
It really did
I'm
look
like,
like
I
a
honestly have
cake.
no idea.
I don't know. I don't believe in three-dimensional aliens.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense. Like, when you really think about it, let's say you're like even a level 1 civilization, you can harness the power of the sun. Let's say
Right.
you could travel, galaxy to galaxy, or even like interstellar travel, or even like,
If that's even a real thing.
or even let's assume that any of this is real. Let's say
Right.
you could even, like, maybe they came from like a moon or something out
All
there.
right, fair
Like,
enough.
okay. The moon, like, I don't know, like, just if they're coming, it just doesn't make sense. Like, I'll just deal with interstellar
All right.
travel. If you're at that level, like, we're morons. We can't do anything, and we're basically approaching like, realistic, like, like we're approaching VR where we literally can't tell the difference.
Right.
Why on earth would you send your physical body all these light years? Like,
Right.
why would you do that? Also, wouldn't you just, first of all, if I were even a level 1, forget a level 3 civilization, like a level 1 civilization, I'm sending versions of my consciousness everywhere. Like, I'm gonna tap into the AI of the ship.
Right.
I don't even know if I'd send a ship. Like, there was a book, a sci-fi book, Three Body Problem, that I read a while back. This was actually cool, where they literally just entangled two particles and just entangled and sent a particle to Earth, and then you could just unfold it infinitely, because like at that level you could just keep infinite. Like, I'd just send a particle. Why would you send a ship?
But, like, do you think it's even, like, possible, like, for one of these particles, like, Googling, like, when it comes to my whole beliefs, like, mass, like, what, like, the Earth actually is, like, man, like, the surrounding barrier, like, being known as the firmament, like, do you think it's even possible for any of these? So much just like actually all comes back to this question of like is there even outer space, like being up there, like, or on the other hand, like, is it just outer land?
The truth is, I've stated my beliefs before. I think it's actually a dimensional barrier. I think the Earth.
I'm
is
with
a
you on that
realm, and
also.
It's literally a dimensional barrier.
I think it could be both.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate. Go with like
For sure.
like, why would, so, like, the real question that I always ask is,
Wait. So, like, I'm sorry to cut you off, but, like,
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about this the other day. Like, could it actually be both? Like,
it could. Well, here's the beauty of it. It could be anything, because we have no idea.
Exactly.
So, like, we could think of anything we want, and it could be. That's why it's just fun to talk about theories. So I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going to
expand people's minds,
and just talk about interstellar travel, or they're coming from a nearby star system or something like that. I think the reality of it is, when we even, like, philosophize about these, like, level 1 civilizations and all this, like, and I'm talking about, like, entangling a particle and sending that, and, like, being able to control. The reality is, we're ants trying to understand, like, the complexities of the universe. Like we can't fathom what a level 1 civilization would do.
Right.
We can't. God forbid they're a level 3 civilization. What do they have? A million years of of technology on us? We don't know. Like the whole thing is just ridiculous. The truth is, I don't believe in any of it. I don't believe in 3-dimensional beings. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff in the deep oceans of Earth or the outer lands that we don't know about.
So speaking of the whole deep oceans, below
the outer and inner realms,
below the Earth, one thing like any of you guys can look into this, and this whole idea actually makes absolutely zero sense. According to science, the furthest they've actually been able to actually drill below the Earth's surface has actually been I want to say 7.5 miles. But then based on those 7.5 miles, these people can tell you exactly what the Earth's core is, and furthermore, they can tell you the Earth's core goes 3,000 miles deep.
We don't know anything. But we've made 7 miles to 3,000 down.
Yeah.
It's like the oceans. We don't know.
Right.
We know nothing. We don't.
Once again, connecting this all the way back to my conversation from last week. When it comes to this idea of light years, it's maybe you start extrapolating and start trusting these experts to tell you something none of us could physically see. None of us.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's also when we talk about history and dating of things, we have no.
I'm actually very curious. When it comes to all these timelines, something tells me all these timelines that have been messed with, and then
when we're
so
carbon
much
dating things.
Yeah. Carbon dating is complete nonsense.
Really
I think.
Don't know, because how long have we been carbon dating?
Yeah. That's why
and elements decay. Do we really know how if carbon decays at a steady rate? We don't know. We're assuming it does.
Going along those same lines, when it comes to this idea of erosion, as opposed to mud floods and more past resets, or
I really
there's so much unknown. It's presented to us as known by these experts. The whole thing is that we just expect to trust them, and then the more often you start repeating this information over and over again, it just becomes fact by way of repetition.
I really try to live by I think it was a Kissinger or William Casey, I forget who said it, but we'll know our job is done when everything the American public believes is false.
Right.
I don't believe anything.
Pretty sure.
I was having a conversation recently about it. All these theories, all these things we can't prove.
Right.
For instance, I'll say viruses.
Right.
We don't know. It's viral theory.
Exactly.
Sure, everyone agrees on it, but
I don't.
I certainly don't either. But it's a theory. Bacteria, okay, we can see it. It's there.
Right.
Parasites, okay, good, we see it. It's there. Viruses, it's a little wonky.
Speaking of which, I was actually listening to a man podcast this morning. I was actually saying when it comes to these microscopic particles, calling them viruses, or I'm calling them pathogens. Any image that's ever been taken, all those images are just snapshots in time. But what I actually believe is any type of bacteria is actually there to help us survive. All those things are actually there to help our bodies to detox. But then the whole medical system has been centered around this idea of killing them, which inherently is all about weakening us, weakening our connections to our God-given bodies. And
again, because what is medicine? We don't know for certain. At the end of the day, we have truth. For instance, you get sick. You have a reaction, you're sick. That's verifiable fact. You're sick with something. You have a fever, you have some kind of immune response.
Right.
But the way we treat medicine, it's always just a theory. We find out all the time that the way we're treating things aren't the best way to treat things.
Exactly.
So it's always just going to be a theory. it's just a theory. That's it. It's like what I was saying, viral theory. I know what a cold is. Colds are real. Like we get colds, my nose starts running, all the cold virus. I don't know what's causing it.
But
it's just a theory.
But like the thing is like the question is like is that like reaction slash response like actually your body trying to heal you from the actual root cause, which like I believe to be like all this like toxicity like that we're all exposed to, or on the other hand, or more on the other hand, like could it possibly be almost like it's like seasonal thing, like so it's like when like all of us like observe nature, so like every fall like the trees like start to lose their leaves, so like could this be like more like similar like it's like our own body's cleansing process, like for like starting this whole renewal process, like of new cells. I mean, like could this actually be our body's way of keeping us healthy? But like on the other hand, like when like modern medicine like tells us like take these pharmaceuticals, like like all these things like do like it is actually suppress like our own like responses. Like could this all be like
in the rare case where I get a fever deeper. I'll tell you this, I certainly don't take a fever
reducer.
I'm like, oh, my body wants this, I'm gonna let my body burn this out and do what it is.
Exactly.
Like, if I have a cold, like if I like I would never take like something that like those sprays and stuff that dry up your nasal passages. Hell no, that's terrible. No, I want the mucus to come out. I'm not gonna like I'm not, like I don't understand, like I don't understand treating symptoms, because again these are all just theories. I don't know. I realized this like a long time ago, because obviously my first love is like human performance, and most importantly my own performance, and then like like I can't be represented by the studies. So like because I fast, I eat one meal a day. Like I realized in looking at the sample sizes that they use in all these fasting studies, there's never going to be someone who represents me, like a lifelong athlete, like multi-sport, like the way I eat, the way I do these things, like all these different cofactors that go in. It's never going to be a sample size that represents me, because I look at these studies and they're like, well, we put people on fasting, they're mildly trained, they used a leg press, or like that doesn't mean a damn thing to me. And then so I went into like just doing true science, like just working an experiment on myself, and then like
it's honestly the only true like 100% science like is gonna be like whatever you actually do on yourself, like especially because like none of the like I don't care how many different like trials do, like I don't care.
I'm not your sample size. I'm not in your sample. It doesn't
exactly.
apply to me.
It's like the whole thing, like the whole like other piece to it, like so like first of all, like there's always gonna be the placebo effect, which is always gonna be accounted for like within like every study, but like you also can't measure the power of belief, like and then like taking that like one step further, like some of the studies like are gonna be corrupted, like some of them like aren't gonna like some of them like when it came to like certain products, like we're gonna remove certain participants like who had like bad reactions to these things.
So like in going to the fasting, like this is the way I look at it now. I don't care what the literature is. I don't care about any of this. I've done like a study on myself now for almost a decade. So like when I talk to people about, they're always like, like you could do this, that, the other. And then the answer is always no. You like, I don't care what an expert says. I don't care what anyone says, because I have the exact results that I was looking for, and I reproduced them in myself. Like, so when I talk to people, I'm never like, you have to do this, you should do what I do, because I've only studied it on myself. And like, that's fine. Someone can be like, maybe this won't work for me. You can question anything. But when people tell me that I'm doing something wrong, no, you don't get it. I've run this study on myself for nearly a decade. I'm the only expert in this subject matter, because I'm the only one who knows how it works on myself, and I have the exact results that I want. So I don't give a crap about anything you're saying. And I think that's like, that really changed the way that I look at life. And also just like my two sports, I always went off on doing my own way and not going like the expert way, because it's better. You could fool the experts. Like if you figure out ways around the experts, you fool them. And like everything's just a human system at the end of the day, and we're all morons. Like I'm a moron. There's things I overlook all the time. In the things I've gotten better at, and I've dedicated years and thousands of hours of my life, I thought I was awesome. Like a couple hundred hours in, I thought I knew everything. I'm a fucking moron.
Yeah, but then I kind of say the same exact thing when it comes like so many things that I've like studied like so many things like so many subjects like I originally thought like I essentially knew all there was to know like when it came to the subject, but then like after like 3 or 4 years like of me like trying this like my idea like out on myself, and then like I actually realized like maybe this concept so like maybe this concept like works for someone else, but no one's ever studied me, so it's just like any type of like data like you give me like I'm not gonna say like it's like totally meaningless, but like in the same breath you always have to like take like any data like with like this grain of salt. Like
you should know everything. You should work on knowing the things like
right.
Like, and I realize this. I'll go back to my sports. You know, like early on, it didn't take very many years before. You know, only like 3 or 4 years where I knew everything there was to know. Because these are limited systems, and then many years past that, I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't know anything." There's so much more because most people just like like you go with what the experts say. It's like, oh shit, I reached the top of the mountain.
I mean, like, like take this like one step further. Like, maybe like see like this exact concept like happening like with like the quote unquote like. Alternative community like so like so many people like out there like are like waiting for from Joe Rogan like tell them like something like going in the sun like is healthy for you, but like my whole thing like so it was gonna be like rather than waiting for like your favorite like person like out there like, to like tell you like doing this is good for you, like
go in the sauna, and if you feel better, figure it out.
Exactly. Like, so the whole thing is, so there's always gonna be like natural biological truths like out there, but like so many of us like have been like disconnected from these. So like my whole thing like is always gonna be like when it comes to any of these studies like.
Take them as whispers. Take them as like suggestions.
Right.
Don't take them as like truth. Don't take them as fact. It's the same thing with like what we're talking about with space and all that.
Right.
Like, know about astronomy. Know about like how the world, like the universe supposedly works. But realize it's just a theory.
But and then also like the whole thing is like don't trust anything from NASA.
But actually, you know what? Know about NASA because you should always know your enemy. Know about it. Like definitely research and look into it. But that's with everything. You know, like the stuff. Like I got to like where I was with like experimenting on myself by knowing the studies first and realizing I think I'm better off experimenting on myself. And I think that's how everything should be, because even the things that we hold as true, I'm sure some way, shape, or form, there's always going to be a breakdown. There's always going to be exception.
Exactly.
Like, just have an open mind, experiment with everything.
I've actually heard like, this very interesting quote. Last night, like this one guy who I was listening to, like actually like this very interesting quote, like which like I'm pretty sure like it was something along the lines of like. Certainty like it causes unhappiness, or maybe it could be like certainty is like the seed of like unhappiness or death or something like
that. I like the idea of certainty is death. Because like I don't know the quote. That's the way I would view certainty. I'm pretty sure if I'm certain of anything, so like I'm certain of my results in myself. But if I ever figure out a better way and I want different results,
be open to
I'm not certain. Like I'll change it, because certainty is like essentially like when you become an adult and your dreams die. Right. So like I like to live in the wonder of childhood, where like I'm just open minded and just like I want to learn as much as I can, and then when I learn, I want to be creative with it and see the way I can bend what I've learned, see the way I could like maybe look around. I don't just want to look at what I'm learning right here. I want to walk around it, explore all the sides. I want to get above it, below it, inside of it. I just want to explore. I want to explore my mind and explore the world around me and figure stuff out.
And also speaking of like
use my intuition.
And it's actually always been like one of my biggest issues, like when it comes to the whole school system. Like it's like the school system like actually shuts down like creativity, like like essentially trains people like to be certain, like
it teaches you memorization. It rewards you for being a good little doggy and remembering when your electric shock is coming.
Like speaking of it, so like it sounds so interesting. Like like when I actually talk to younger people about conspiracies just allowing people's minds to actually run with these ideas. I actually noticed my younger friends always gonna be better able to accept these ideas. Whereas on the other hand, if you try to tell someone who said years and years of indoctrination,
it's even
by
worse.
the time you get there, it's just they can't even accept the idea some things that they've been taught aren't true. it's actually the complete opposite. This whole inverted reality.
I think it's worse than the acceptance. I think a lot of that has to do with our crazy, our higher learning system, our university system, and I think it's when you're taking out lifelong
colleges.
Debts. And you're paying, I think that's why they make everyone get somewhat of a liberal arts education.
Oh yeah.
To really, because you went through high school, everyone knows school is bullshit. The only thing I learned from school was how to be a douchebag.
Right.
I literally learned more in 1 month of self-learning than however many years of the public education system, and what little higher education I did before dropping out. Self-education is so much better in my opinion. But I think the real reason why people get so much cognitive dissonance and get so attached to all this bullshit is I think college really drives it home.
I think so
where
too,
you got this debt for the rest of your life, this house or this house-sized loan that you're going to take for the rest of your life. So it almost
becomes
and they make you take a liberal arts education. They make you take all this shit that doesn't apply to your major to really once you have money and substantial money tied into that, you're going to feel really foolish when somebody comes up and questions what you take to be yes sir, blah, blah, blah. I repeat everything you say to me, give me a good grade, please.
Speaking of this actually brings me to some of the comments I've been getting on posts I
love the comments. If you're watching this, comment.
Please keep commenting.
Talk trash. I love the trash talking comments most because those are fun because it just starts up a fun conversation back and forth.
To be honest, probably 90% of the comments that we've been receiving,
thank God, because I love them.
90% of them you come calling us crazy, have been calling us science deniers or whatever.
Awesome.
I haven't seen anyone who actually proves this wrong. It's just all these crazy attacks, calling us losers, calling us
Thank you, please. Make fun of my hair, do something, please. Just talk some trash. I love it.
It's so crazy to be arguing with people who don't actually have any type of coherent argument behind them. It's just telling us how naive do you have to be to be questioning the science? But the thing is, did anyone else out there experience the past 3 years?
It's just wild. I don't know. I'm a big believer in kill your idols, be burn everything, and just write your own story.
Yeah.
I think the reason I'm at least this way, and I don't get butthurt about what people say if I disagree with it or anything like that, is everything I value in my life, I taught myself. Nobody taught me shit. I always taught myself everything.
No one could take that away from me.
It's just because I've done it for myself.
Right.
I know it. And also I realized that I only got as far as I did and learned as much as I did because I had an open mind and I wasn't dogmatic about anything.
Right.
I just loved these things so much that I wanted to learn and explore and risk hurting myself. I'll fast, I'll risk my, this whole idea, that's the other thing, this idea, your blood work, you gotta check this about your health. Here's a good idea. Check your intuition. If you feel fucking great, you look great, you perform great and all that, shut up and just maybe just trust it.
Chances are doing that
maybe trust it.
It's probably the right thing for you to do.
I don't care what my blood work is. I don't care about any of that because I look how I want to look. I feel how I want to feel, and I do what I want to do.
On.
I don't care. You know what? Maybe I'd have if I die tomorrow or it shortens my life, at least I had a better life, and I'm willing to take these chances. So I'm not attached to anything.
Actually, really when I'm getting when it comes to making yourself like attached like to like certain like communities like especially because like the more like entrenched like people like get like whether it be like certain like fraternities. Like
I don't have a community. Like there is no community. Just because somebody does the
exactly,
same thing or me or agrees with me on something, you're not my community. You're either my friend, and I don't care. No, I do care about some things that you believe in. There's certain things that I just will not be your. If you're into like shit that I find like downright evil or disturbing, like I'm not
obviously.
Like for instance, wait, can we say that? Like if you support Gretchen Whitmer's, Gretchen Whitmer's, no, not her, that moron, Kathy Hochul.
Oh
yeah, I'm sorry, fuck
it's,
Gretchen Whitmer. I was gonna laugh about that like how like the people got like got
the
cleared of
kidnapping.
that. Yeah, because when the FBI sets you up to do that, like it's pretty good chance you're not going to get like put in jail on that. But anyway, like Kathy Hochul. Like if you support Kathy Hochul building quarantine camps, which come on, we've all choose your genocide throughout history. There was always a camp of some sort. Like if you support that, like I can't be your friend. Not only can I not be your friend, but you are my mortal enemy.
Man, also it ties back into like the whole like, education system, like all that stuff. Like so many people
read history. You know where this is headed.
But like the whole issue is like history constantly gets like distorted like over and over again. And then like the whole thing is like people don't so like. When it comes to like of like when you don't teach history, it's gonna repeat itself. So like I actually totally agree with that. But like the issue is like the history like we've all been taught like is maybe 95% nonsense, and then like 5% like some truth here and there.
So let's just take like we've all been deeply educated on World War II. It's just a never-ending. It's a Hollywood theme. It's just pop culture. I mean, we think it's the only genocide essentially. So let's just use that for an example. You all throughout history, all throughout the media, Hollywood, you're always like, how did we let it get this far? I wouldn't be one of those people. Well, here's your chance. If we live in New York, in the state of New York, our governor is trying to build camps in which if you go to the doctor, you're sick, they could just take you against your will. You know, there's no real like no set amount of time. Just the first thing, if you're being taken to a camp against your will, here's your chance. Here, you've watched movies, you watched Schindler's List, you watched all these things. You're like, I would have done something different. Really? Because you're not doing shit right now.
Like so much just like it ties into like this whole idea like like so many people like out there like only jump whenever the media tells them to jump. Like
this is how the Holocaust happened. Wake up, people! It's not a quarantine camp, just like the concentration. Like, wake up! You can call it a concentration camp, an internment camp, a quarantine camp, a gulag. You go throughout history, a re-education camp. We could go for the the Mao's camp. So we wake up. Anytime the government sets up a camp where you go there against your will, wake up, open your eyes, wake up. We're dealing with this right now. Wake up. You're on the footsteps of what the conspiracy theorists are saying is true. This is happening right now.
Because conspiracy theorists have been batting 1,000 the past however many years. It's been. Do
you have any theories on who the camps are for? Do you want to go into that? Because that's quite the conspiracy theory.
Let's do it. So like. Something interesting. Like
I don't think they're for me.
So who would you guess? They're here for.
I'm gonna go with was it 2015 or 2017 when the courts ruled on genetically modified humans.
Yes.
And how they no longer have human rights and they are the property of whatever company modifies them.
Be careful.
Well, that's why I'm speaking. Yeah. So when they were saying certain things stay in the location of where they are injected, I was like, that's bullshit. That's going straight to the liver to be transcribed. Like, there's no way. And then when, the Swedish studies found, oh shit, it goes right and gets transcribed into your DNA. I was like, oh, I see where this is headed. I still have human rights. I'm still a sovereign human being. I don't think I'm going to be the one, or people like me who are like, maybe I should wait this one out and see how this all turns out. Because what I really think is happening, I think too many people are realizing like, oh, You mean we're not really debt slaves, like, based on our social security number, and we're actually sovereign human beings? And there's two worlds going on here. We got the corporate, fiction that we live in, and then we have the sovereign human. And I think like too many people. I think the powers that be realized that there was a singularity occurring with that, where they're not going to be able to hold up this bullshit. Slavery system anymore. I think they needed a new way to get their slaves, and I think the best way to do that is, let's be honest, the companies that did this, they're the government, obviously. And I think now they truly own you. And the people who partook in that and got fooled by that, listen, the court rulings are in. They do not have human rights anymore. They're not considered human beings. They're now considered property of one of those two companies, which is really property of the government.
Would you argue though that like all of us like have essentially been like tricked into like becoming like property
obviously.
Yeah,
like you and I, even I'm aware of it. I still exist as my all caps fiction. Like I'm part of it. Like I'll try to exploit it where I can here and there, but at the end of the day, I'm a dumbass with a social security number. And
So it's like do you also think like our own birth certificates like are essentially like indicating like almost like a property of our government?
There are bond. There are slavery. There are shackles.
Yeah.
They're what keep us in chains. But we don't have to do that, and too many people are waking up to it. And I think they need to keep that slave class.
So then, like, my next question for you, like, would be, what is the actual solution? Like, wait.
Well, step one, I don't go to the doctor for shit. And I mean, in Kathy Hochul's New York State, I think where the doctor can just call in, and they're encouraging them to report if you have any illness or anything like that, so they can just take you against your will to a quarantine camp. Like, I think it's a good idea to stop going to the fucking doctor unless it's really, really, really serious and catastrophic.
And then also, winging this like all back to like the whole terrain theory, like versus the other theory, like so like these people like who are like at the top of the whole medical and industrial complex, like essentially convince us like people who feel totally fine, like, could be sick. I mean, could be infecting you. Like that's
not how it's ever worked. I mean, like, all my life,
it makes
like,
zero sense.
If you're not showing symptoms, you don't have enough of a load to spread it. So like, I will say this: for the past 3 years, I certainly lived my life in that way, and I don't regret it because it never failed me once.
Exactly.
Just like, like I had asthma, like exercise-induced asthma that I got from pneumonia. It's not that bad anymore. But when I was working in construction, I always had to wear a respirator, so I was very cautious with it and really deep into the respirator science. So as soon as they were like, in the start of the whatever we want to call it, when Fauci was like, "Don't wear a mask. It might make you feel better, but it's not really offering any protection." Like when he said that nonsense, I was like, and it was the beginning. I was like, "Oh shit, this might actually be serious," because oh my god, he actually said the truth. And then 2 weeks later, when he was like, "You know what? You should wear 2 masks, and one should be made out of t-shirt material, and the doctor's masks, they'll be made in a fucking factory somewhere, and there will be no sterility. There will be no cleanliness, no anything like that. It's just it's made in like then I was like, all right, I'm good, and I walked right out of my house.
But like also when you actually think about it, like it's so interesting like how these people like pit all of us like against each other, like because
we're morons. It's just like we were talking about last week. You repeat. Motherfuckers just believe shit. I do. We all do. We're all pattern recognition machines. So when we see authority figures and we're like staring at the idol of the black box, worshiping Saturn through our TVs, like, and we're just like, oh yes, master. Like, of course, if those things that we look up to and we worship, and they're watching all that, like, of course we're just gonna be like, Yes, yes, whatever you say. Oh my God, I must wear 2 masks. Yes, yes. I'll go to the dollar store. I'll get a whole thing of non-sterile doctor's masks. They look like doctor's masks. They must be sterile, even though it says in the box not sterile and can't protect against disease. Yeah, like, and then I'll definitely wear a t-shirt material. I'll put 6 of them on,
and then taking this like one step further, like this whole concept, like when it comes to say everyone's standing 6 feet apart, like when else, like meanwhile,
I smoked pot through a mask. It wasn't even a good filter. I took the joint. I smoked it through the mask and blew it right out through the mask. Like, did you see the CDC? Like, they kind of dimed on themselves recently with all the smoke fire, and they were like, "Don't bother wearing a mask. The smoke can get through the mask of the particles." Yeah, you know how big a smoke particle is compared to an imaginary viral particle?
Right.
Yeah, I wonder if they work that way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Wear 6 masks.
But like also like I'm like, am I actually familiar like, with the size like all of our like auras like are actually 6 feet? Like
I was interested in that. The 6 feet social distance. Also they love the number 6.
Oh,
they love it.
Like
yeah, they don't want our toroidal fields over like
connecting with each other.
Yeah.
Like also like coming back to like when it comes to numerology, how many times do you see the number 33 getting like
they love 3, 6, and 9. They love all variations of that.
Like I find like very interesting like how many people like am I still like repeating like this idea like supposedly 6 feet like was just like this like random number. Like people like don't realize like our auras like are actually 6 feet. Like it's like we actually need.
Yeah. You know what?
Like so much is like it's all been like
I definitely buy that because at the end of the day, I think that it always comes down to energy and consciousness.
Oh yeah.
But like seriously, guys, break your spell. Like,
nothing's random.
Like they had people hanging up saran wrap barriers. Like wake the fuck up. Like, and now we're coming back to this nonsense because the election. Is it any surprise that the election season is bringing this bullshit back? And the fact that Hochul is literally I wonder. Yeah, we need another one for mail-in ballots. Is it really that surprising to you that Hochul, like, you're really going to sit there and like go along with Hochul building concentration camps and coming up with these orders and all this bullshit? They were hanging up saran wrap. They put up plexiglass this big because apparently respiratory disease, like how do you buy any of this bullshit? Like,
and also like come on, when we went like to the supermarkets and like you actually see like these spaces that are like 6 feet apart. Like how does anyone go for that?
It's ridiculous. It's like oh my god. It's like when I see people with 2 masks on, like. This is so bad for you. Like you're at risk for bacterial pneumonia. Also, like I love every time somebody like adjusts their mask. Guess what? It doesn't work anymore.
Right.
You just let it all in.
Like speaking of, it's like so I actually heard like this like hilarious joke the other day. So like Sam Tripoli like the podcast like who like I'm always referencing like so like he actually started like using this one joke like during his comedy skits like so like what he does like he said that like whenever he goes on AM plane these days like he always multiplies the number of people wearing masks like by the number of people like who have dogs and like he uses that like to like gauge like how dumb like the people on his plane are.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's hilarious, right?
Yeah, but it's just like I don't know. Going forward, it's just like.
Wait. So there's actually one of the really interesting point. Like, so it's like maybe this is like can like totally bring us like completely off topic. Like, as you guys know, like me and him love our tangents. Like my something very interesting the other day. Like, it's like when it comes to this whole like idea like, of like people bowing down like to their leaders, like and like their experts and stuff like that.
To
like,
the cult, yeah.
Yeah, and like so it's like you obviously. I've heard of the phrase "Your Highness," right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I actually like, saw something interesting, like which actually claims like the origins of that phrase like could actually be referring to these giants like hundreds of years ago, like who actually lived alongside like humans, like some of these giants, whether you guys believe in like the whole Anunnaki story, like, and all that stuff. Like, so like, some of these giants like actually saw themselves like as like gods. The Nephilim, like all that stuff, and so like I'm wondering here, did you actually see anything like interesting like when it comes to that whole phrase?
I do see something interesting in that phrase, but I'm gonna take it a different
direction.
Yeah, because I don't. I think political parties are bullshit.
Yeah,
I think 99% of them are just, they represent different corporate interests.
Yeah.
But I do find it interesting that all the bullshit that's like pretty, I mean, it's pretty like just closed case evil, like a lot of the shit that's going on. Like, for instance, like, well, I'll just take it back to Hochul and like her concentration camp. This is the left. They are the left.
Right.
She's clearly taking the left-hand path. Are you familiar with like left-hand path, right-hand path?
What does that mean?
In the occult, so left-hand path, right-hand path, left hand down, right hand up. So right hand is the path to goodness, left hand, they're all taking the left-hand path.
Doesn't that like correlate?
Baphomet. So Baphomet's it's like
Baphomet,
this. One hand up, right hand path is like the good hand. Left hand path is the path down.
And also like taking that like one step further,
Baphomet also has male and female genitalia, breasts, and giant erection.
So speaking of the whole Baphomet, like you're also like familiar like with like how Aleister Crowley so he essentially corrupted the whole phrase like of as above so below, like so like as above like so below, like is actually supposed to be like it's very like hermetic principle.
Yeah, hermetic principle is as above so below.
Like they actually like ton of like wisdom like comes from that phrase, but then like he essentially took that like for this like occult symbolism like
to make it more like evil can be good,
right?
And it's kind of there's a lot of
inverting
stuff
of reality,
inversion of reality. It's there. Oh my God, there's Sabbatean Frankism is similar to that, but like Aleister Crowley is do as thou wilt and bullshit, and like
speaking of,
I just find it interesting that all the evil going on, whether it's kill baby
comes back to him.
Because Aleister Crowley is so important to these
I would definitely love to do like a full on like deep dive,
but I just find it interesting that all this evil shit. Like, I'm sorry if you think a quarantine camp isn't fucking pure evil, you're a moron and I don't care what you have to say.
Or you just
that is the left. That is the left. Here's my left hand. That's the left hand path.
Or you just like some like NPC like who just like goes along.
Again, just go walk into a corner and just like bump around in a corner because you're a fucking NPC and you don't know how to navigate this video.
Yeah, I'm like speaking of it, so I've actually never been someone like who's a fan of like calling people like names like in order like to get them like agree with you. Like my other thing has always been like modeling the change like you wish to see in the world. Like having to it's definitely important like for everyone like to recognize who's actually in their best interest, like and like who is totally against humans.
Well, I think I don't mind mocking it and making fun of it because I think they're all capable of greatness. I don't think anyone's inherently limited.
Everyone has like different ways of going about these things.
I like to personally call some people names because sometimes it might wake them. Like sometimes someone needs to hear that they're a fucking NPC. Because sometimes maybe they might be like, or they get all butthurt, or maybe they'll get into an argument with you about it, and you get to explain to them why they're an NPC, and maybe just maybe it'll get through and be like, oh shit.
And then like I'm actually like very out there.
I like being called names personally, but anyway, go on.
Actually, it's very like out there conspiracy. Like I actually just thought of this a few days ago. Like it's like I was walking down like the street, and then are you familiar with these people like who are always selling things like to people's like houses and stuff like that? Like
just like door to door.
Yeah, like so many of these people. So like this isn't me like trying to offend anyone. Like who does this? I actually might be convinced like those people like are actually legitimate NPCs.
They're just part of the simulation.
I'm actually like 95% like convinced like some of these people like actually have like no soul. Like these people just like walk around like these people go to your doors, try to talk to you. How many people like don't even answer them, and like the same people like will just like walk to the next house. Right?
That's amazing.
Right?
That's amazing. I have no idea, but I love it. It's funny.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. Oh
yeah,
like
I'm so like my wouldn't call myself like I'm a comedian or anything like that.
like they just walk up to your door like, bonk. Bonk. Doorbell didn't ring.
Like the thing is, like if I were a comedian, like I would definitely have a skit like talking about like these door salesmen, like definitely NPCs, like because like these people like are always like talking to doors, they're going around like ringing people's doorbells, but like how many people like actually answer and speak to them?
Also, like what time of day are you doing?
Automated responses also. So like how many people like the same people like will go door to door. I mean like these people like program like tell people like this whole like line like talking about like whatever product is like they're selling. And then,
talk about an antiquated position. Like I mean it made sense I guess when it was like single income phones, households and everything, like didn't have phones, no internet, you know, usually the wife was at home with the kids. It would make sense, you know, to do something like that. But like now when like everyone's working and like doing all this stuff, like your only real opportunity to like run into a client is like at really inappropriate hours. Or like could you imagine just walking up to somebody's doorstep at 6 a.m. or like you show up at 9 o'clock at night, that's normal. Like, or how do you like that's a good point because it wouldn't even like not even to make fun of them, but how does that even still exist? Like how do you do door-to-door sales in a time when everyone's stuck working because we're all slaves?
How do these people like sell anything? Like something tells me like maybe 1 every 1,000 people like actually buy into these products. Like but like like these people like still just like go around like saying the same automated responses to everyone. And I'm so like I'm actually convinced like these people like are NPCs like within the simulation.
I'm with it.
Yeah. I honestly have like no other explanation for that.
I'm with it. Honestly, maybe those little Mexican ET aliens are inside of those people and driving around as like a human suit.
Wait. So like one more thing. So like first of all, like I'm not sure how much longer you want to go with this episode, but like maybe now it's like a good thing. Like it's like tie things back like, to the whole like Mexican ET. And I'm like I might definitely love to talk about like why it is like that like the people like who are in like power like want to like convince us like that like these things are real like.
Because they need to keep us afraid. They got to keep us afraid. They need a common enemy. Honestly, it's also a good way to like look the other way while Kathy Hochul is setting up concentration camps. It's honestly, I think they just think it's fucking funny. I think there's like I think they have a sixth sense of humor where they're like,
you think?
Yeah, where I think they're really just like, look at what these stupid peasants believe. Right. Like I think they find it humorous. I think like especially really even the last 3 years, I think it's just been a never-ending like quest of theirs to just see how ridiculously moron, how fucking stupid we actually are as a population, and they're just like, let's tell them to wear 6 masks. let's tell them to hang saran wrap.
Right? Yeah.
we're gonna make cakes, and then we're gonna have the Mexican government show it, and they're gonna be like, look, these fucking aliens. It's like, and it's like I think they're fucking with us.
And it's like taking this like one step like further, like the whole idea,
look, there's a fly on the Mars rover. Like, you know,
like taking this like one step further, like the whole idea, like every like all like the world governments like all like in on this like once again like this just like shows you like the whole concept of like all these nations like fighting each other, like they all hate each other. Like I don't think like any of that maybe it's like true like when it comes to certain issues and stuff like that. Like I mean, like maybe some of these world leaders.
Oh, I think it's real, but we don't hear about those actual issues because like if you notice, like we don't pay attention to any genocides that you know, we don't pay attention to any of the real shit going on in the world. For instance, I mean, we certainly turn a blind eye for all the like the children getting their hands cut off, like working for these corporations. We, you know, lithium. Let's go green. We pay zero attention to the harsh realities of lithium mining. You know, like
there's also like
what a good time to pick up an iPhone too when we're talking about child slave labor. Like we turn a blind eye to all these real issues in the world. But anytime there's like a publicized issue or a publicized like you know like conflict in the world, I'm just like, yeah, that's probably that's bullshit.
Wait. It's like
because if it was real, we wouldn't be talking about it.
To close up like this whole like my idea when it comes like to him NASA like and like ET like and all it's like moon nonsense like it comes like it comes like all these like topics like I actually read probably the funniest article like that was actually presented as like truth the other day.
Ooh, let's hear it.
So it's like this article was claiming like the whole reason why we haven't been back to the moon, quote unquote.
Oh, sure. Tell us, please.
Was because of budget/political issues.
Yeah, you can't do that with $19 billion a year.
Yeah, wait. And like meanwhile, like, supposedly this next year's budget like is $25 billion.
Nice.
This year. And like meanwhile, like
let's go NASA.
Yeah. So like meanwhile, this same author like actually claimed that like like had not been for budgetary or political issues, like we would quote unquote
definitely political issues.
We quote unquote be on Mars by now.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we'll be on Mars. I mean, are we talking about whatever that is up in Canada, where they clearly film it with the fly on the Mars?
Devon Island.
Devon Island.
Yes, I'm so with you on that. Like,
it's exact.
It's
same
identical.
Thing. It's identical. And like the dead giveaway is the fly on the Mars rover.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
Come on, like. I think they're fucking with
it. Yeah.
I don't believe anything. I don't believe anything from either side anymore. I think both sides are just like playing. I think we've entered into a part of human history where they're just like, these stupid sons of bitches.
Like I honestly think like the whole key like is actually to exit this whole like one or the other beliefs. Start actually informing your own beliefs.
Yeah. Because we're being laughed at.
Yeah,
like I'm sorry, like we were hanging saran wrap as a viral barrier for a respiratory virus. Like we're being laughed at. We're being mocked. Like we're clearly being mocked. Like come on, those sandy little ETs things. We're being mocked.
Oh wait. It's starting to run out of battery. So
okay.
Should we close
anyway,
things up here?
I don't know. Multi-dimensional, extra-dimensional aliens,
like,
not extraterrestrial.
Yes.
Extra-dimensional.
Extra-dimensional, extra lands, outer lands. So anyways, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Rabbit Hole Roundup. We will be back soon enough.
And Kathy Hochul is pure evil. Wake up, people. We cannot have quarantine camps. Wake the fuck up. All right, love you guys. Bye.
What he said, love you guys. Check out all of our videos, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Quarantine camps are evil. Bye.